All right, welcome back to our channel. We got to set the record straight. On that last video that Charlotte went out and spent that large amount of money that I thought at first, turned out to be pretty good. Well, it even gets better because there's things that we forgot. And I know people mentioned in the video that this motor right here, they said, hey, I seen a motor in that pile. Did you get rid of it? No, we didn't get rid of it. We set it aside actually and
Forgot about it.
forgot all about it. The windings in there are copper, so we're gonna tear that apart. There's probably, I'm gonna say 2 pounds of copper in that. Here's another thing. We mentioned brass, that we had to tear things apart that had some brass on them. And you know, there was a few chunks of brass in there. It all adds up. Here's the big one. We had a coil of wire that was sitting off to the side. We were in a rush to try to get it down to the scrapyard because it was Arbor Day. We wanted to hurry up and finish scrapping. Completely forgot about this. This was a coil of wire that we set aside because look how thick this stuff is. This is some really thick wire. And Charlotte was just like, hey, that should have been added onto my pile. Whatever.
Oh, easy for you to say.
So we're gonna weigh this up and add it in. And then we did have another small coil of the aluminum, the EC wire, which, I mean, it looks like a big amount, but it's not really. We're gonna weigh this up and we're gonna give her credit for this because
So what you're saying, I did better than you thought I did.
she did a lot better than I thought she did. Yeah. Here's another thing. This was in that pile. Just an old looking tray of some sort. Look at that. That's all. I grinded all over that thing. That thing's copper. That whole little tray. I don't know what it is, but it's copper. So we're gonna add that.
This right here is aluminum.
Yeah. And then an
That's
aluminum
in the pile.
water tank. That probably weighs 2 pounds. $1.20 or something.
It still counts.
All right.
I'm counting it.
All right, so real quick, we're gonna go through this and get her caught up to where she should have been. And like I said, give credit where credit is due. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with, let's weigh some stuff
I'll
here.
bring the scale over.
Okay, yeah, just bring the scale over here. We're just gonna give her credit for 2 pounds of copper out of this motor here. So that's 2 pounds.
You
All
want me
right.
to write it?
What's that?
You want me to write it?
Yeah, you go ahead and write it. Right, 2 pounds of copper from the motor. And we got some, we're gonna weigh the brass up here. And this little tub weighs like 1/10 of a pound. So we're gonna go with 4.5 pounds. That's 4.5 pounds of brass. 4.5 pounds of brass. All right. This will be number 2 copper. So add 0.6 pounds to the number 2. And we'll weigh all this up. I don't know what they'll count this as. It's kind of got a little bit of dirt on it. I would say at least number 1. At least number 1. So we're gonna knock 2 pounds off of this for the bucket. And this comes up to, let's see, 15.5 pounds. So minus 2 pounds. So you got 13.5 pounds of number 1 copper. That's a lot. And then the EC wire here, this tub weighs, I think it's 11.5 pounds. Weighs 11.5 pounds. And so it's 18, okay. So 6.5 pounds. Yeah, that's, looks like a lot, it's just not. It's very light. 6.5 pounds.
I might count it all.
All right, so let's get her numbers. So here's the difference that we made up for Charlotte. And if you remember, her total revenue was $1,058.75, which put us in a positive of $258.75. But after we add on 2.6 pounds of copper, at 463. It's 1203. We had 4.5 pounds of brass at 268. Comes to 1206. The extra EC wire that we had, 6.5 pounds. We have to go back to the regular price, $1.20. It's at $7.80. Old sheet aluminum from that fire extinguisher, 5.4 pounds that weighed at 65 cents. That's $3.51. And then the big one here, that coil of copper that we missed. We got 13.5 pounds. That's $4.74 for number one price. That's $63.99. And then there was a guy that looked at that scrap pile, and he asked us if he could have this. There was a chain binder in there, and he says, "I'll give you $10 for it." And it was like, sold. So he gave us $10 for that. So we're going to add that in there. So it's a total of $109.39 for a total revenue of $1168.04 compared to $1058.75. And like I said, she had originally $258.75 in the positive. Now she has gained total profit of $368.14.
Yay!
There, are you happy now?
I'm happy.
Yeah.
We didn't want to include that. I thought we should.
Yeah.
Because that was my first bid.
All right, so that was worthy of redoing, to give her credit, so that she could have credit for that. That was a big chunk, yeah. That was $109. That was another $109 put in my pocket.
Our pocket.
Oh, ours.
But we kept finding stuff as the day went on.
And the video was already put out,
And
so.
he said, "Oh, we'll just let it go this time." And I said, "Easy for you to say. This was my bid."
All right.
And so that's why we're including it.
Okay, so we did have another part of this auction where we spent a total of $851.50. So let's move on to the $51.50 and see what we can do off of that. And we're gonna try to go through this pretty quick because there's a lot of stuff in there. We'll go over real quick. We'll break some stuff down, and we'll try to get our 20% profit off of that. Okay, so we're gonna have to cut this video short. It's not going as we expected. Charlotte and I both, we were both laid up with sickness. I mean, it got both of us. So instead of doing that full auction, the rest of it, we're gonna answer one of the most common questions that we have, and that's how do we find auctions? And we're gonna show you how we do it. So we apologize for not getting the auction video out for you, but that's how things go. And we'll get it out next week, hopefully. We're gonna show you how we find auctions. All right. Okay, so to answer one of our biggest questions that we get is how do we find auctions? Let's get into it right now. So Google search. Auction Zip. Auction Zip is where we find a majority of our auctions. So let's just go there. I'll show you how we do it here. Type in a zip code here. A Toledo area zip code. I'm close to Toledo. I'll just type in the zip code. I don't worry about anything down here on this page here. I never even look at any of that stuff. I strictly use just this line right here. And we can do a 30-mile radius. We can do a 50-mile radius. I don't have a problem going 50 miles. That's an hour drive. We've done many hour drives to auctions. So we'll just, and then I do all categories. And then I'll show you what happens there. You bring up the search. And you come up with this calendar right here. All right, so this is May. So let's just pick at random a day in May here. In this bottom line right here where it shows the red, I don't use those because those will bring up auctions. I'll just click on one right here. These will bring up auctions like Muncie, Indiana, Astoria, New York. These are Chicago, Illinois. These are not what I am interested in. I don't want to go that far. The blue ones are the ones that you want to find. So here, let's just go with a Saturday auction on the 16th of May. So it's going to bring up, here's one in Willard, Ohio. Here's one in Findlay, Ohio. A second one in Findlay, a third one. There's Bellevue, Ohio, Michigan Center, Michigan, and Jackson, Michigan,
and Bellevue, Ohio. So what I look for are like estate sales, farm sales, something like that. You know, you got foreign coins, you know, we're not looking for coins. Annual spring auction, those could be good. They're usually like consignments. Indian artifacts, no, we're not into that. We're looking for scrap. So anything, so here is an auction. Let's check this one out right here. So you can click on these and you can view the photos. And then you have to go through all these photos right here. And this is what we do. We do this daily. We'll look through all these photos here and see if there's anything of interest. Here's another way that I will look at these auctions, and you get better detail if you actually go to their website. So this is Taylor Estate Auctions. Let's copy and paste this auctioneer. Let's bring up do a Google search on it, see if we can find a website. All right. So it looks like this is his website. We can go to his current auctions in Onstead, Michigan. Okay, so we can view his catalog. Here's the trick that I always do is I'll go down here. You want to show, you know, see as many as you can, 25 lots per page. And then I'll just go right to the very last page, because all the good stuff that they're going to be putting on the front page is like the furniture and the antiques and all the stuff that's going to draw people in. I always go to the end where all the junk's going to be. So, and that's what I'll look for. So this is like all the stuff stored in the barn. Here's some others, you know, just all kinds of stuff. You just got to search through all this stuff. Air cabinet. Oh, there's not a whole lot of stuff here. Just go all the way to the end. All right. And, okay, so look at here. Power cords, chains, miscellaneous on right side of wall. So I'm guessing that's everything on this wall right here is what you're bidding on. Right now the bid is $5. And there's probably, I don't know, probably $6 or $7 worth of extension cord right there. And all the other stuff there would just go into scrap. So $6 to bid on those extension cords. It's probably a little out of our price range. You just got to keep searching for stuff. Anything that's of value. And this is what we do. You go through every picture. Sometimes you'll have absolutely nothing. And then other times you'll have 7, 8, 10 things that, oh wow, this has got my attention here. I'm definitely bidding on this. But that's how we do it. So again, go to auctionzip.com, type in your zip code, your radius that you're willing to travel, 50 miles, you do a search. And then, like I said, I don't use the red numbered auction. I only use the blue auctions. There's 3 auctions on the 8th. There's 6 auctions on the 9th. I only use those because those are going to keep it within that 30-mile radius or 50-mile radius, whatever you put it at. And again, like I said, you got to just go through each one. And depending on how much time you got, that's how you're going to find your auctions. That's how you're going to find things to bid on through Auction Zip. Now, we're not advertising Auction Zip. We don't get paid by them. I'm just answering questions, trying to help people out that are interested in finding auctions, and they ask us how we find them. This is how we find them. This is one way that we find them. And as you're pulling up these auctions in your area, just like I showed you, you know, copy and paste the auctioneer. Look for their website, save that website, put it on your phone or whatever, and that way you can check back individually with those auctioneers and see when they have auctions coming up. I mean, it'll generally come up here, but you can get a little better detail without having all the advertisement of Auction Zip. You can go directly to their website and check things out through them. So I hope this helped you out. Hope you go out and find a whole bunch of auctions. Just don't be finding them in my area and outbidding me. We've also had requests that, we put more videos out. And man, it's a struggle to put one video out a week with us scrapping. But what we could do is do little things like this on the side, throw another video out there on other websites that we may find auctions on, ways that we're upgrading our shop or things that we're buying for our shop to help us scrap better. We might throw little extra videos out like that. We'll do that as a trial just to see how people react on it. If it doesn't get any attention, then we'll probably not do it. But you can expect in the next couple weeks that we're going to throw out these little videos here and there. So I think sometime throughout this week, in addition to the Wednesday video, we're going to throw out another video, at random on another website that we use to get auction buys, find things. The week after that, we might show you an upgrade that we made to our shop or some tool that we bought that we find interesting, just to get another video out there, because some people request that, they would like to see more videos. So we'll do that, and we'll give that a trial and see how the people react to that. And if it goes pretty good, then, maybe we can throw more videos out there. But if not, we're not going to just, there's a lot involved in putting a video together and, just to, not get any views. I'm sure you understand, but, hey, we'd like to get more videos out there and share with the scrapping community how it's going at the Charlotte and Gary Scrapping Show shop. And all right, so I hope this was a help to you, explaining to you in detail on how we find auctions. And it's time consuming, and you just got to put the time in to find the auctions. And that's what we do. Sometimes we get behind. We don't, I work a full-time job, and we get out there scrapping, on my days off, and I'm sure you know how that goes. We're not full-time scrappers, but this is what we do. So I hope it helped out, and we're going to go ahead and conclude this video.
Hi.
No, not yet. I didn't have anything going.
I didn't.
All right. So this is gonna do it for our video. Like we said earlier, it's we both got sick. We both come down with something, and we just couldn't get out here in the shop and finish up our video. So we did get some extra money from Charlotte's video from 2 weeks ago from her auction buy. So and we hope we helped you with ways of finding auctions in your area using Auction Zip. All right, so that's going to do it for this video, and we hope you join us next Wednesday. And we got to get our scrap to the scrapyard so we can get paid. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.